We're live at Haynes in Motorstone this evening, and we're going to be doing our Motability event review. Before we begin, just going to go through the safety procedures we've got in place. We're all going to be observing social distancing and making sure we maintain 2 metres apart. Max, who's going to give you a thumbs up right now, is our cameraman, and he's in full PPE, so don't be alarmed if you think he's getting too close to us, because he is all protected. I'm going to introduce you to my colleague Mandy. Mandy?
Hi, I'm Mandy. I've been here for 22 years doing Motability now. And my colleague over here.
I'm Matthew again. You've seen me before on various Facebook Live events here at Haynes. Also a Motability specialist, been working with Motability for about 10 years now in total.
And in the office we've got Sue, who's manning the fee for us, and she's going to answer any questions you've got to make sure they come through to us. We're going to start talking you through the Motability scheme, and that's going to be my colleague Mandy. So Mandy, if you'd like to explain to Max and our viewers what the Motability scheme is all about and how it works, please.
Certainly. Motability has actually been around a very long time, but there's quite a few people out there that don't actually know a lot about it. Now, if you're in the receipt of the DLA, the high rate Motability, then you can get a vehicle instead of your allowance. If you receive PIP, the enhanced PIP, the personal independent payment, you can also exchange that for a vehicle. Or if you're a war pensioner, you need to have the allowance for 12 months or more going forwards to be eligible to change it for a vehicle. So the lease would be for 3 years. There's a range of vehicles on the scheme, everything from the smallest to the biggest cars, from Fiesta to Galaxy. They can be adapted to help you get in and out, to stow wheelchairs, and there again are specialists that will help you, and adaptation centres that can guide you through what you might need to know or do, and the cost of these as well. In that 3 years you can have 2 drivers on the scheme, and they will be paid for, the insurance. You can do 60,000 miles in that time as well. You will have full maintenance of the vehicle, and it will come into us for servicing when it's due, and we'll contact you and we can collect the car for you as well. And over to Shane.
That's great, Mandy, thank you. In regards to the Motability scheme, Mandy, I understand it's been closed now for the last few months. Is the scheme fully open?
As of today, it's all back up and running, and that is to existing customers and new to scheme customers as well. So yes, from today.
That's great, that's brilliant. Before we begin, I also want to thank Ace Car Conversions for the use of Tornado today, which you're going to see, and Careco, who've lent us some scooters to demonstrate the brute practicalities of the cars. My colleague Matthew now is going to walk you around the range of cars in the showroom before we get into it. Over to you, Matthew.
Hello again. So just a brief introduction first of all of the cars that we've got on display in the showroom. Max, if you can show, this is the Tornado, or Grand Tornado I should say, Connect. There's various different Tornados, which confuses some people. There's a Courier, which is the baby one. Ford have announced that one is going to be discontinued, but there may still be some available. So this is the Grand Tornado Connect, available as a 5 and a 7-seater. This one, as Shane mentioned, has been loaned to us by Ace Car Conversions, or one of the adaptations partners we work through. Doors are open to show some of the adaptations which we'll be coming back to later on. If you can follow with me, Max, we'll go past the Tornado. Blue one we have here is the Focus, which Mandy will be mentioning a little bit more about later on. Then beyond Focus we have the Puma, a scooter which has been loaned to us to power equipment such as this. It does fit in a relatively compact car like the Puma. And then lastly in the showroom we have one of our bigger vehicles, the Cougar. So we'll be looking at all 4 of those vehicles, some in a bit more depth, some briefly, as we go on throughout the evening. Back over to Mandy now, I think, who is going to be... Oh no, there's one other thing I was going to mention. In appreciation for you joining us on our Facebook Live, we will be making an offer for any applications throughout the month of July. Now the scheme is fully reopened. So if you book an appointment to come in and see myself, Mandy, or one of the other Motability specialists, and mention the Facebook Live event, we will give you £100 off the advance payment on your car, or cash back if the car is less than £100 advance payment. So there is an offer for our Facebook followers this month. Mandy, over to you.
As I mentioned before, the car can be adapted, and it also can carry your wheelchair or your scooter. We've got a hoist here. They come in a range of different sizes and costs. This one is an 80 kilo hoist, and it's about £295 contribution. These are quite heavily subsidised from Motability when they are fitted. And this is quite easy to move in and out. This is a 4-way hoist.
Shall I guide it from this side?
Okay, thank you.
You've got your hands full. Just needs a little bit of guiding to get through the gap, but normally done quite easily by one person if they're not holding a clipboard at the same time.
And it just lowers it down. And obviously when you come back to the car and you need to put it away, it'll just do the same in reverse for you. It just has a bar across here, which is just clipped onto either side of the chair or the scooter, and it will just lower it in and out of the vehicle for you. There we go. And then you just
There are a range of different size hoists available to cope with different sizes of scooters and mobility equipment. Payments range depending on the weight capacity of the hoist. This one, £290 for the 80 kilo. I had to write them down because I can't remember them all. £345 for the 100 kilo and £445 for the 150 kilo. So there's a range of different things available there, and the adaptation partners we use will be able to guide customers through what's required. It is possible to transfer a hoist from one vehicle to another, but only once, so you don't have to have a new hoist every time. So if this was first fitted in this vehicle, you could just pay for a transfer rather than having to have a new hoist every time. Mandy, I think you've got something else to show.
So the other thing we have round the side of the vehicle here, again to help getting in and out of the vehicle, is the swivel seat. So we've already manoeuvred it to this position. So as you can see, it just like a normal seat, it fits back in there, and then once the person's sat down onto the seat, it will just slowly manoeuvre around, step by step. You do have a little plate at the front there if you want to put your feet on there. And then that will just go back to the position, just like the driver's seat. And you can move it backwards and forwards as well to gain extra leg room.
You can stop it at any point as well during the
So it's only because
process.
I have my hand on the button here that it's going to keep going.
So if the passenger needs to
So
adjust
if you
position,
need to
that's
stop
easy.
it, you just take your hand off. There we go.
Do you want to mention, Mandy, what the other
And
fitment
then
is in the front of the footwell there? Because there is something
round the other side, I don't know if you want to take
Sorry, Mandy.
round that side. And the other thing you can see this side is what they call a transfer board. So if you do need to go straight from the car seat into your wheelchair, then the transfer board is just there to help you across.
That's great, thank you, Mandy. A lot of people don't know about how you can get the vehicles adapted, which is why we've got one in the showroom for you today, just to show you what some of the adaptions are. A question, Matthew, is how does somebody know what the adaptions that they need require, and what can they do about it? Who do they talk to?
There are various people you can talk to. You can start with us. We can then refer you onwards to, there is an assessment centre, which I think is out Aylesford way, and they have a range of different types of vehicle, and they can fully assess a customer's mobility needs and so on. Also, both of the various adaptation specialists we use are very good at advising what's required and what equipment will fit into which model of car. So if you can tell them what you've got, they'll be able to advise on what will fit. There are other types of adaptations available. The car we've got here today only has the hoist and the help with getting in and out of the car. There are also driving aids available with push-pull, accelerated brakes, steering wheel balls with various controls on. So if the recipient of the award wants to be the driver, there is help with driving the vehicle as well as getting in and out of it.
That's great, thank you very much for that, Matthew. Motability is important, getting about is very important too. Having the scheme closed for so long has meant a lot of people won't be in cars that they should be in cars and won't be able to get to where they need to get to. With the scheme reopened, we have got test drives available, and they are unaccompanied test drives. We do sanitise the cars before they go out. You'll be completely safe in the vehicle, you'll be able to go out and enjoy the car. If you need to test drive an adapted vehicle, we have a Ford Centre available that can get adapted vehicles in for demonstrations, so we can do that for you. And both my colleague Mandy and Matthew and the other Motability specialists here will be able to help you. What we want to show you as well was something that was really surprising, was the amount of space that you can actually get in a small car. We've got the Puma, which is our small SUV, and Matthew's now going to demonstrate how you can get a wheelchair scooter into the boot of the car and still get passengers in the back as well, which is quite surprising. Over to you, Matthew.
So this is where I mess things up and it goes wrong as I try and get the scooter back in the car. I've practiced it a couple of times. It does fit, but bear with me whilst we have a go at this. Puma is a fairly compact car. It's based on the Fiesta, but it will accommodate either a small scooter like this one. This is the lightest scooter available on the market at the moment, apparently 33 kilos, so very easy to get in and out, or a collapsible chair. You'll see I've already taken the feet off that one to speed things up a little bit. If I look in the boot of the Puma, I'm going to have to trust Max here not to keep focusing on my back end as I manoeuvre around the car. There is a false floor which is lifted up in the Puma, which means there is a lot of space to get things in there. So if I can get to the scooter, seat will release. A lot of people are familiar with doing these kind of things, but that will fit into the mega box. So that tucks away into the bottom of the car quite comfortably. Put the floor down again, and if I just dismantle the scooter, which takes very, very light battery, that's often the heaviest part of a scooter. This one's very light, very easy. Drop the handlebars down. Advance payments on the Cougar start at just on the Puma start at just £245. That is a reduction over the previous quarter's advance payments on the Puma, so they have been reduced. There we go, pop that apart. This piece lifts easily, fits in, and I can just pack the other parts. So a mobility scooter comfortably fitted within one of our smaller cars. You don't need to have a big, thirsty car if you have various bits of mobility equipment. The chair does also fit. I may pop that in later whilst Mandy's talking about one of the other cars rather than have you watch me do all of that. And I've forgotten what's coming next now because I had to put my clipboard down. What to put that in?
Thank you, Matthew. As you can agree with us, that is pretty amazing to get all of that stuff in the boot of the car and still be able to use the seats. So many times we've seen people with Fiestas that are having to put the seats down to get the scooters in the back of the car, taking the parcel shelves off. With the Puma, you don't have to do it. It fits all in there beautifully. We're going to go over to Mandy now, who's going to cover the Focus. Those of you that are just joining us, we've gone through the Motability scheme. We've gone through the fact that it's now reopened for new applications and existing applications. And we've talked about the fact we have got unaccompanied test drives available. So don't be afraid to come on down, have a drive of the car, make sure you like the car and speak to the specialist here so we can get you mobile again. I'm going to pass you over to Mandy now, thank you.
Thanks, Shane. One of the other models that is available and very popular on the scheme is the Focus. Now this comes as a hatchback and it also comes as an estate model. If you do again have scooters that you need to put in the boot of the car and you want to make it that little bit easier, then this might be ideal for you. So Max, if you want to just come and have a look at the boot on this one. Now the advance payments on the Focus range start from £45 and there is a very, very wide range. Manuals, automatics, diesels, so there should be something there for everybody. Back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Mandy. Mandy, we haven't mentioned the C-Max. Is there a story behind the C-Max?
C-Max has been discontinued by Ford. So what Motability are now doing is if you currently have a C-Max and you're looking to renew, they are offering a £200 contribution towards the advance payment on your next car. Now if you're looking to do this in July, you will also get that extra £100 that we mentioned earlier from us as well. So
that's brilliant. And what people liked about the C-Max, Mandy, was the raised height of the car.
So I was just going to mention as well the Active. So as we've looked at the Focus here in the estate, we also have the Focus Active. Now the ride height of that is slightly higher than this one. So you may find that that would be easier for getting in and out if that's something that you're looking for.
That's great, thank you, Mandy. Again, thank you for those that have joined in today, and thank you for those that are watching us. Matthew's going to talk about a couple of the other models that are also available on the scheme. We've got a couple of questions that we've had come in before the event that I've got down here. And if you do have any questions, please pop them in the comments below. If we don't answer them tonight, we will come back to you during the week. So we're going to go over to Matthew now and talk about the Cougar, Matthew, and the Tornado and the advance payments.
I will just mention those, but if you can show the back of the Puma again, Max, you can see that I have put the wheelchair in there. That's with the boot in its raised position, so there's still a good amount of storage space. The whole of the mega box is available underneath, so you can get a chair and plenty of other stuff in the smaller car, the Puma. If we follow over this way, this is a car that some of our Facebook followers may be familiar with already, the Cougar. Just thought it's worth a mention. It's proved very popular since the Motability scheme reopened. Cougar always has been a strong offering, strong seller on the Motability scheme. Advance payments on the new model. There is a lot of new equipment in the Cougar, much higher specification, slightly lower ride height, which a lot of people like because it's easier for getting in and out. It's a raised position compared to most cars. Advance payments on the Cougar start from £1,295. There's an advance payment for a manual. There are automatics available. There's petrols, diesels. There's even hybrid versions available. Most cars in the Ford range are available on the Motability scheme in one form or another. The only exception is the Mustang, which a lot of people ask us, can I get a Mustang? Afraid not, that's the one you can't have. But Mondeo, S-Max, Galaxy, Fiesta, EcoSport, there are various different models of all of those available on the scheme. Not every single one. Do please check with us which of those particular cars are available on the scheme. Some of them are available from nil advance, so we've mentioned the Cougars at £1,295. If you didn't want to pay an advance payment, did we talk about advance payments earlier, Mandy, to explain what they are?
Yes.
We did.
The advance payment, I can run through it again if you like. The advance payment is the contribution you pay towards that vehicle. So in addition to your allowance being used for the running costs of the vehicle, the insurance and so on, there may be that particular, so as Matthew said, that particular car over there was £1,295. So that's, as they say, an advance payment. And as we mentioned before, if you've got a C-Max at the moment, £200 would come off of that advance payment. And if it's for July, you'd get an extra £100 as well. So they vary a great deal from Fiesta-sized cars to a Galaxy-sized vehicle. So there can be absolutely nothing at all, up to a few £1,000s.
That's great, Mandy, thank you. There are also, I believe, Mandy and Matthew, you can correct me on this one, but there is government grants available that you can get if you need to get into a car and you can't afford the advance payment or you can't cover the costly adaptations, is that right?
Motability will have a grants department, so if you do need a particular vehicle and you need certain adaptations that can run into the thousands, then you can apply.
The seat was £3,227, I think, for the powered seat that moves in and out. So they can be quite costly. Some are subsidised already, like the hoists, but the chairs, you can get grants towards various different things. But I'll let Mandy carry on with the big button.
That's okay. So yeah, as Matthew said, you can get grants. So you do need to apply to the grants department at Motability, and they will guide you through it and send out the forms.
That's great. Well, to be fair, as per usual, Matthew's pretty much answered all the questions that we had down. I wanted to thank Careco again for the use of the equipment that we demonstrated in the Puma, and also to Ace Car Conversions, who lent us this car with all the adaptions and the scooter, so we could showcase some of the options that you can do with the car. If you do have questions when you're watching this and it's not live, put them in the comments below and the team and I will come back to you. We want you to make appointments with us, please. It is only appointment only. Please don't turn up and expect to drive the cars. We have to book you in. We have to make sure the car's all sanitised, the area is clear, and also that we haven't got too many people in the showroom when you do arrive. So I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the showroom soon. Bye-bye.